Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Butt Fumble Sports Show on this amazing Wednesday. We're working our way through the work week. We're getting ever closer to the start of NFL Week 3. I am so excited to be with you guys. Cannot wait to talk some fantasy football. If you need help with your lineups, you've come to the right place. Who to start, who to sit, who to pick up off the waiver wire, who should we trade for, and who should we be trading, how to make sense of this crazy league, this crazy last couple of weeks, who are we riding with, and who are we dying with. Make sure you guys are hitting the follow button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you are joining us across all of our platforms every single day. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Kick, Twitch, and Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days. Big question coming in from Jordan. Trade Tank Dell for Amari Cooper or hold on to Tank Dell? For the moment, I'm willing to hold on to Tank Dell because Amari Cooper isn't showing the upside we were hoping for, though Amari Cooper will probably have a better game this week. Baker or Lamar for this week? Interesting question because I do like the Ravens this week, but I'm going to lean just maybe slightly towards... That's actually, I'm thinking about Lamar versus Baker. Baker's playing Denver, right? And thus I'd go Lamar just barely with Baker going up against them. Yeah, I'd go with Lamar, Bucky, or Jalen Wright. I'd go Bucky Irving on that one. Second question is out for the season. Okay, let's get back to questions. Nick, Dobbins versus Steelers or Ford versus Giants? Ford versus Giants, Nick. Ford versus Giants. Hojo, start Richardson or Mayfield? I think it's a bit of a trick question. I'm going to lean towards Richardson, believe it or not, just barely. Just barely, in large part because the Denver Broncos, a top 5 defense against the pass so far this season. Frigid, do you think they'll be cautious enough with CMC so that Mason is a starter rest of season? Not rest of season, but probably for the half of the remaining season. Extended mags, Ayuk or Shaheed? Great question. I'll go Ayuk just barely. JP, Purdy or Prescott this week? I'm going to lean towards Purdy just barely. JP, I'll go Purdy just barely. It's really close between those two. I don't know. That's a close one. I lean towards Purdy just barely because, frankly, he's played better to start the season so far. Appreciate the questions coming in. Christian, Metcalf for Waddle. Nope, wouldn't do that trade. Nope, wouldn't do it. I'd rather have Metcalf. Xander Simmons, Kyron Williams, Montgomery, Zamir White, start 2. Do I need to pick someone up? I'd start Montgomery, and I would probably lean towards starting Zamir White, though I don't love it. I don't know who much better you could get on the waiver wire. Zamir White or Najee Harris. Pittsburgh Steelers this week are going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers so far when it comes to the running game have been pretty good, so I'd probably lean away from Najee and I go towards Zamir White, Drew, though I'm not crazy about it. Appreciate the question, though. Sean, Ford or Taylor? For the moment, believe it or not, I'm leaning towards Ford. The reason for that, the New York Giants are a bottom 5 run defense. That's why I go in that direction. The Indianapolis Colts this week going up against the Chicago Bears. The Bears are a much better run defense. They're top 12, so I'm going to lean towards Ford just because of that. Jay, Aaron Jones or Brian Robinson? Interesting question on this one. Cincinnati Bengals have been bad against the run. Brian Robinson Jr., I think, is the better play. Minnesota Vikings this week going up against the Houston Texans. Similar story. Houston Texans, pretty good against the run so far this year. They've been a top 10 defense against the run, top 8. So I'll go Brian Robinson Jr., Jay. What running back can I get for Debo? Ethan, I don't answer open-ended questions, bud. So look at some of the players that you may want to go with and come back to us. The RJ, JSN or JAMO rest of season? It's a great question. I actually think it might be JSN, and here's my reasoning. Jameson Williams is really hot right now. Opposing defenses will start to play him a little bit more focus on him more, and I think the ball will be distributed so much in that Detroit Lions offense to Sam Laporta, who's been quiet of late, to Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery, that I think Jameson Williams may not have the ceiling that JSN has, because JSN has solidified his place as wide receiver 2 on that Seahawks offense, and Geno Smith's a good enough passer of the football where JSN could have a really, really good year. So I'm very high on JSN. Canny, appreciate you saying it. Hope you did well. Kike Esquap, out of these 3 defenses, which one do I like? Chargers, Cincinnati, or the Jets? I'm leaning slightly towards the Jets. Maybe just barely over the Chargers. It's close, though. Extended mags, I benched Walker for Montgomery, but I don't know. I'm debating if I should start Olave or Shaheed. I actually think both of those are decent plays, given how bad the Eagles' pass defense has been to start the season. Luis, start on wide receiver 2. Should I start Cooks or Bell or Shakir? I go Shaquille. Khalil Shakir would be the player I'd go with. Josh, I have Puka, Amari, and Waddle. Should I try and trade or hold? Well, Puka is going to be a long time. I'm worried about Puka's future this season. Amari Cooper has value. I think his value is going to go up just because he's been playing so poorly. Waddle, I'm curious to see how Tyler Huntley performs. Josh, I think you need to make a deal. 6 Geese, great to see you. Start 1, Wilson, Ayuk, or Shaheed. For the moment, hold on 1 second. For the moment, I'm leaning towards Ayuk. 6 Geese, I'm leaning towards Ayuk over Shaheed. Black Men Don't Cheat, hope you're having a great day. Trade Wan'Dale Robinson and Ayuk for Zay Flowers. I wouldn't do it because I actually like Ayuk more than I like Flowers right now. C Swan, start 2 this week. DK, Ridley, or Shaheed. I'd go DK and Shaheed. DK and Shaheed. Don't know what the logo is. Is it a helmet? I don't know what it is. Alvin Kamara or Saquon Barkley. Eagles this week are going up against the New Orleans Saints, which is a really interesting matchup. The Saints so far this year against the run are one of the best defenses in the NFL. They've been really strong. On the other side, obviously, Alvin Kamara going up against the Eagles. Eagles' run defense has been kind of suspect, to be fair, especially given our expectations of them. Philadelphia is a bottom 10 run defense. I'll go Alvin Kamara over Saquon. Alvin Kamara over Saquon. TJ, trade J.K. Dobbins for Moss and Diggs. I wouldn't do it right now. J.K. Dobbins has a lot of value. Spencer, I appreciate it. Moss and Diggs, I don't think you're getting enough back in return, given where J.K. Dobbins' market is right now. Appreciate the question. Lucas Rathwell, traded away Neighbors and Kincaid, got MHJ. Can I have your thoughts? I really like the trade overall. I'm so high on MHJ that I think this is a good trade, in part because Kincaid, I think, is going to rebound, but I still have my doubts about Neighbors overall. I think he had a really good game last week, but I'm cautious on him just given Daniel Jones, so I actually like the trade overall. You have Bowers, you're fine. Guars, Moss, or Pollard this week. The Tennessee Titans this week going up against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers so far against the run, kind of middle of the pack, maybe towards the lesser side overall. Meanwhile, Moss going up against the Washington Commanders. They've actually been better. I'll go towards Pollard, just barely, Guars. I'll go towards Pollard. David Rodriguez, trade London and Neighbors for Harrison. I don't think you're getting enough value back, David. You're giving up too much. Little bruh, who do I start, Tyler Johnson or Waddle? For the moment, I'm leaning slightly towards Waddle. Justin, D. Smith, Rice, or MHJ. Pick 2. I also have Hurts. I'd go MHJ. And I'd go Rice. MHJ, you know, it's a tricky one, actually, because I'll go MHJ and Rice. It's just, I'm thinking A.J. Terrell, really good corner. He's going to be matched up against Rice most of that game. That's a tough one. What do you think about Jordan Whittington? I think he's a good lottery pick kind of player where you're taking a chance on him, might have good value long term if all of a sudden he builds chemistry with Stafford. CT, Steele, Pirine, Foreman, who to pick up. So if you're following ESPN, ESPN's very high on Steele. I'm making that known, so if you want to follow ESPN, and a lot of fantasy experts out there are saying go with Steele. That's what they're saying. I want to make sure that I'm letting you guys know I'm higher on Pirine because I think Steele's got a fumbling problem. I don't think he secures the football well enough when he runs. I think Andy Reid will have a very, very, very thin level of patience when it comes to that. I lean towards Pirine just a little bit. JP, we're going to talk strictly fantasy football today. No sports betting show. If you want my sports picks, DM me on Instagram or go to SHARPZ. You can find it there. Let's get back to your question. CJ Miller, Ramondre Ridley for Jamar Chase. CJ, I actually like the trade. I think there are going to be some weeks you look back and it won't look like enough value, but overall, I actually do like the trade. I'm in pick 2, Jamison Williams, JK, B. Robert, JSN. For the moment, I'm leaning towards Brian Robinson, and I'm leaning towards Jamison Williams. Ayman Hussein, Brian Robinson, and Jamison Williams. The RJ, Kincaid, or Henry with 30% target share. I'll go Kincaid this week. Matt Chubb, Ferguson, Henry, or Parkinson at the tight end position. Tricky one for me. On this, it's between Henry and Parkinson. I'm not trusting Ferguson until I see that he's fully come back from injury. For the moment, I kind of lean towards Henry, but Parkinson's probably going to be a good play as he builds chemistry with Stafford. Benjamin, should I do Neighbors for McCaffrey? The answer is no, I don't think so. You're trading a player with real value right now for a player with potential value in the future. I don't see it. It's a bird in the hand versus two in the bush. Oh, 555, yay or nay. I get Gibbs, Higgins, Myers, and I give up Mixon and Diggs. I like the trade because you're getting out of the overload on the Houston Texans team, and I think going from Mixon to Gibbs actually will end up being an upgrade. Higgins to Diggs, I think is about equal value. Myers being a throw-in, 555, I think it's actually a decent trade. I'd approve it. Bo Pucks, thoughts on what to do with Waddle? If you can trade him, I would, but if you also are willing to have the patience to see how he performs with Tyler Huntley, I'd be willing to play it out. By the way, I'm not sure Huntley will be the starter right away, but I think over time he'll take the job from Skylar Thompson. Dylan, Shakir, Reed, Keon Coleman, or Mooney, drop one. For the moment right now, I'm leaning towards dropping Keon Coleman. That may look like a mistake in the future, but I'd rather have Shakir than Coleman, at least from what I've seen so far. Ethan Ingram, should I try and trade Carson Steele to Pacheco owner for Kincaid? Yes, I would. I think it's a really crafty move, Ethan. You're trading someone who all of a sudden appears to have high value for someone whose value is really low. I think Kincaid's value is going to come on strong. I think that's a really smart trade. Jack, trade accepted. Rice, Etienne, and Moore for Hill, Kyron, and Shakir. I think that's a very fair trade, very balanced. I probably like the Rice, Etienne, and Moore side maybe a little bit, but frankly, that's a very even trade. To me, it's all about the fall off of Kyron and Hill's value. Maybe you're buying them at great discount, or maybe you're giving up a little bit too much for them, but I think it's a very fair trade. I really like what you did there. Levi, start Steele or Henry. Derrick Henry, no-brainer on this. The Dallas Cowboys have been one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. Obviously, last week's performance stands out, so I'm gonna go up against that. Parker Bledsoe, start 2. Devontae, DK, Flowers, Addison, or Singletary? Great question. I'm gonna go towards. I lean slightly towards DK. I'd go. Maybe not. Sorry. Take that back. Sorry, we jumped on me. Where'd that question go? Parker Bledsoe, Devontae, DK, Flowers. Devontae, DK, Flowers, Addison. I'm not going to go Addison. Singletary. The New York Giants are going up against the Cleveland Browns. I don't love that matchup. I would probably say Flowers, and I'll say, for the moment, I'll say DK, but DK and Devontae are close. It depends on the status of A.J. Brown for me. That'll make an impact. Coat White Tiger, I'll lean for the moment towards Derek Carr. Derek Carr just slightly over Purdy. Jay, who do I start in the flex? Najee, Quentin Johnston, or Christian Kirk? Man, that is a really tough one. Run defense of the Chargers has been good enough where I'm not really high on Najee. Quentin Johnston, though, tough matchup as well. I lean towards Christian Kirk out of the group. I actually think he could be the best play. Back to the questions on TikTok for a moment. Dino, should I drop Cortland Sutton for Jordan Whittington? I actually kind of like that move. I think Cortland Sutton may be capped with Bo Nix being in that lineup, at least for a little while. That said, Denver Broncos this week go up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's pass defense so far this year has been one of the worst in the NFL. So if you think there's value in Cortland Sutton, it may be this week. So maybe you want to hold on to him this week and wait 1 week to see if Jordan Whittington kind of matures into the player you hope he's going to be. Dino, I might wait 1 week on that. Levi, Steele or Brian Robinson? I'll go Brian Robinson Jr. Justin, Neighbors, Waddle or Brian Thomas Jr. For the moment, I'm going to lean towards Brian Thomas Jr., and I'm leaning towards Malik Neighbors, actually. Seattle's pass defense has been just fantastic. So I'll go Neighbors, and I'll go Brian Thomas Jr., actually. Magic Mike, Hunter Henry or Laporta? Laporta. Lucas, I'd go Derek Carr. Lucas, Derek Carr. Ricky just traded Cook, Dak, Malik Neighbors, and got CeeDee Lamb, Herbert, Javonte. Who won the trade? I'd rather have Cook, Dak, and Malik Neighbors. I don't think it's that close, actually. Spencer H. Should I start Godwin against the tough Broncos secondary or Shakir against the Jags? I'd go Shakir against the Jags. Shakir against the Jags. Seth. Trade Wilson and Javonte for Bijan. I actually like that trade, Seth. I would do it. The wide receivers you had are good enough. I like it, getting Bijan. Eric Anderson, I'd go Mark Andrews. Eric Anderson, Mark Andrews. Birdman, Kamara for Kenneth Walker and Hill. Man, I would love to do that deal. Walker and Hill, I'd do it, Birdman. Absolutely would make that trade. Lincoln, JJ. Jumped on me here. Lincoln, JJ for Baker and Evans. I don't like it because you're kind of cannibalizing the value of Baker and Evans. They can only perform so well given there's only one ball to go around. So I don't love it, Lincoln. I wouldn't do it, actually. Unless you really need a quarterback. Monique, pick one. Mooney, Pierce, or McLaurin. I'm going to lean slightly towards McLaurin for the moment. The Bengals' pass defense has been good. I take that back. Monique, I take that back. I'm just not crazy about Mooney. I know the Kansas City Chiefs have given up a ton of passing yards. Maybe I'm fighting it too much. Monique, frankly, based on the stats, Mooney is the best play. I don't know if I want to go in that direction because I think McLaurin is going to continue to play better and better. But at least based on the stats, it's Mooney. Gavin Wheeler, I traded Amari and Pittman, Mason for Garrett Wilson, Worthy, and Dobbins. Was this a good trade? I think that was a really good trade, Gavin. Well done. Appreciate you guys sharing the show. Appreciate you guys being with us. Appreciate the follows, the likes, the gifts, the subscribers. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate everybody. Eric Anderson, trade Ford and Brian Thomas Jr. for JSN and Pollard. I think that's a very fair trade, actually, Eric. I'm not sure who wins it, but it's a very fair trade. Fredo, hey, how's it going? What's good? Would you trade London and Dobbins for Nico? I don't know if you're getting enough value from it. I'd like your running backs right now, but when Kenneth Walker III comes back, Charbonnet's value goes away. So I wouldn't be too quick to give up Dobbins, though I do really like Nico. I'd probably hold on to London and Dobbins, Fredo. I wouldn't make the deal just yet. Bryce, I have Neighbors, Chase, Marvin Harrison Jr. at running back, Achan, Ramondre, and Mason. Who do I bench or who do I trade? For the moment, I'm definitely starting Marvin Harrison Jr. and Chase. I'm probably starting Ramondre Stevenson and Mason this week. Achan might end up being in the flex over Neighbors. But that said, I like the team overall. I wouldn't make too many moves. I like what you got. Bob Jeff Supreme, Do I trade Devontae Smith and Higgins for Jamar Chase and Madison? No, you're not getting enough value back in that deal. I like Madison right now. I'm not willing to make the trade. I think it's a bit of a reach. It's Gavin, pick 2, Mixon, Gibbs, Flowers. We talked a little bit earlier about the Houston Texans and the run defense that they're going to be facing this week in the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings run defense so far this year has been one of the better ones in the NFL. A top 10 defense against the run. I lean towards going with Gibbs and Flowers, Gavin. Gibbs and Flowers. BB, Baltimore defense, Vegas defense. Got to be the Vegas defense. And folks, if you're looking for a defense over the next month, look at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders have some really favorable matchups coming over the next few months. This week they play Carolina. Then they play Cleveland. Then they play Denver. Then they play the Steelers. Then they play the Rams. You're not facing a really good offense until they play the Kansas City Chiefs. That game doesn't occur until week 8. So you've got a really good runway of about 5 weeks where the Raiders could actually be a top 5, top 8 fantasy defense for you. 72-62. Edwards or Steele? Tricky one for me. I don't like Edwards matchup, so I'll go with Steele. Appreciate the question. Jorge Karras, drop Watson for Bucky Irving or Charbonnet. Depends on if Kenneth Walker III is out. If he's not playing, I'd go Charbonnet. But for the most part, I like Bucky Irving's long-term potential. Only thing about that, though, Miami Dolphins run defense has kind of been middle of the pack so far this season. So again, if you're looking for someone this week, I probably lean towards Charbonnet. Now that I say that, actually, Bucky Irving has a good matchup as well against Denver. I'd go Bucky Irving over Watson. Bucky Irving over Watson. Mario, Lamar, or Geno. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Lamar. Barely over Geno Smith. Miami Dolphins pass defense has been top 5 so far this year. Meanwhile, Dallas Cowboys obviously got burnt last week and have shown some vulnerability in the past. Alex, trade Derrick Henry for Godwin and JSN. I'd be okay with it, Alex. Yep. Plugs, Raiders or Seahawks defense this week. It's a great question. I really would say the Raiders overall, but I understand if you want to take Seattle. I think Miami has a lot of talent on that offense, no matter who's at quarterback, and they have a really good offensive scheme creator and play caller in their head coach. Nuv DK, trade likely for McBride. Absolutely, Nuv DK. R. Lopez, trade Kamara for St. Brown. I would, but acknowledge that right now, a lot of people would actually think you are not getting enough value in that trade, though I actually would do the deal. EMN, I would go with Shaheed. EMN, I'd go Shaheed just barely over Shakir. Neil Dynasty, would you trade Ferguson, Deontay Johnson, Ladd McConkey, Dowdle for Moore, Kirk, and Taysom Hill? I have Bowers. The answer is yes. The answer is I would do that trade. Bob Jeff Supreme, which QB do I start? Darnold, Watson, Caleb Williams, or Justin Herbert? It's Deshaun Watson. It's a trick question. It's Deshaun Watson, believe it or not, based on at least the stats. Addison or Mooney? Not sure about Addison's status. Is he playing this week? If Addison's playing, I'd still go with Mooney. Kokway Tiger, I'd still go Mooney. Appreciate the question. Hope you're doing well. Neil, also, which two would you go with? Warren, Deontay Johnson, Ladd, or Ferguson? I'd go... Deontay Johnson's kind of an interesting play because I do think he may bounce back a little bit with Andy Dalton playing, but I'd go Warren and Ladd probably. Warren and Ladd. I don't know what I'm going to get from the Andy Dalton-led team. Swamp Donkey, thoughts on Devontae, Singletary, Pacheco, and A.J. Brown? I'd rather have Devontae and Singletary because Pacheco, his season could be done. So I don't like that trade if I'm acquiring Pacheco. El Hone, Mason or Henry? Tough one, but I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards Mason. Rams are a bottom 3 run defense. I'm going to go with Mason this week. I'm going to go Mason, just barely over Henry. Start Burrow or Carr? Really good question. I'm going to start Derek Carr for the moment. I'm going to go start Derek Carr. Washington Commanders, so far this year, they've been a bottom 12 defense against the pass, but the Philadelphia Eagles, they are a bottom 5. So I'll take Derek Carr just barely. Appreciate the question. Warren, traded Ingram, Ford for McBride and Pacheco. I don't like the trade. I'm not trying to trade for Pacheco right now. I was feeling better about him until I heard Andy Reid bring up the idea of him not maybe playing this year. He said maybe this year, maybe next year. That actually really kind of threw me off. It means this may take a lot longer, so I'm a little bit worried about it. I'm kind of pushing back a little bit. So I'm not as high on acquiring Pacheco as I would have been maybe 24 hours ago. Joseph, Trey, David Montgomery, or James Conner. For the moment, I'm leaning just slightly towards James Conner based on how bad the Rams' run defense has been. James Conner. Drop Myers for Gesicki. I think Myers will have a really good game this week, so it might be a bad time to move on from him. But I do think Gesicki is a tight end worth playing this week. Jackson, I do like Gesicki. Adam, trade Tyreek Hill for Gibbs and Devontae. Yes, Adam, I love the trade. Brenna Ford, should I drop Quentin Johnston for Shakir, Allen, or Jennings? I'd go with Shakir. Brenna Ford, I'd go Shakir. Deborah Henry, Dobbins or Henry? Derrick Henry. Deborah Henry, I'd go Derrick Henry. Gabe Sands, Braylon Allen, or Tajay Spears? Good question. I'm leaning slightly towards Braylon Allen just because I see some upside there. But that said, Spears has proven things in the past. Again, Tennessee's going up against the Green Bay defense. Now that I say that, Green Bay's run defense so far this year has been kind of suspect. So I'll go Tajay Spears short term, Allen long term. Hey, B-Bye, I traded CMC for Chase. Love the trade. Love the trade. Scotty Rocks, what do I do with Derrick Henry? Probably start him this week. 49ers or Raiders defense for week 3. Ooh, I like both of them. I'm leaning slightly towards the Raiders, but I feel like both are going to be in the top 3, top 4 in defenses this week. User 22, Pitts or Henry? Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts. Parker Bledsoe, Derek Carr. Parker Bledsoe, Carr over AR-15. Isaiah Hubbard, should I try to trade? How long should I keep Mason? I would keep him for a while. I'm not moving on from him. Traded Pacheco for DeAndre Swift. Good move. Love it. I'd rather have a player that's contributing value right now. Chris, Spears or Justice Hill? I'm going to go Justice Hill. Justice Hill. Joe Shiesty in a rough spot with Cup out. Should I start Jacoby Myers or Johnson? I'd go Jacoby Myers. Joe Shiesty, Jacoby Myers. Jesus, trade JT and Dell for Bijan. The answer is probably yes. The answer is probably yes. But the difference between JT and Bijan, I don't think is worth. I think Dell, you're probably giving up a little bit too much. So Jesus, I don't love it, but okay. Because I think Bijan could finish as a top 3 running back, but I'm still kind of, because giving up Tank Dell is quite a bit to be given up. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content, loving the show. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we're live. It is so wonderful to have you guys with us every single day. I hope you guys are getting a lot out of our Q&A. We'll take some callers in a little bit, probably callers in about 10 minutes. Ravens edits. Rank these 4. Connor, Flowers, Wilson, and Kyron. I would go Connor 1, Flowers 2. I actually think I think Kyron's 3 and Wilson's 4. I don't like Wilson's matchup this week. Wise guy, start Robinson or Rashad White at the flex. Very, very close. I'm leaning maybe just slightly, I think. I'm leaning slightly, I think, towards Rashad White. I'm going to take that back. I'll go Brian Robinson Jr. I'll go... Wise guy, I'm kind of flipping. They're both good plays. I'll go Rachaad White. I'll go Rachaad White because he'll get the running and the passing yards. It's close, though. Man, my concern is Jaden Daniels getting the rushing touchdown that should go to Brian Robinson. I think both have good games, though, if I'm really calling it. DJ Knox, Waddle for Higgins. I actually think it's a pretty fair trade right now. I'd ask if you could probably get a little bit more, but I think it's a fair trade right now. Tyler, how does this trade sound? Garrett Wilson and Swift for Devontae and Fields. Don't like that trade. Rashad, trade DK for Jamar Chase. Probably not. Probably not. Dom, trade Evans and Dobbins for Nico Collins. I wouldn't do it, actually. I don't know if you're getting enough value back. Tyler, answer you. User 69420, Addison, Steele, or Mooney. I'm looking at Mooney. Kansas City Chiefs pass defense has been pretty suspect this year. Second most passing yards allowed. Kike is Guap. I might do a subscriber-only show tonight. I'm actually going to see Robert Downey Jr.'s new play here in New York. So getting a little bit of culture outside of the sports world. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get back in time for a subscriber-only show. But tune in around 10:30. Maybe you'll find me on TikTok. Jets Info just traded Pacheco and Kittle for Walker Goddard in a dynasty league. Did I do all right? I think you did all right. I don't love it, but I think you did all right. More because you're playing for this year, and I actually think that's what's most important. Eric Anderson, likely for Stevenson? Yes. I like the trade. I'd rather have Ramondre over likely. Carl, Etienne or Zamir White? Tricky question here. Run defense for the Buffalo Bills so far this year, it's been kind of meh. It's like, So I actually think there's some value in Etienne this week. DJ Moore or Devontae Adams? I'll go Devontae Adams. Colin, thoughts on Zay Flowers? I like him this week. Ariel got offered London and Montgomery for CMC and Pickens. Not doing that deal. Ariel, I don't like that trade. Boo on that one. Not about it at all. Trey Wimp, Madison or Mooney? I'm leaning maybe just slightly towards Madison because the matchup, it's just so attractive. Brennan, JK or Ramondre for rest of season? Rest of season? You know what? J.K. Dobbins, and here's why. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater might be the best duo of tackles in the NFL. I think that offensive line of the Chargers is really good. I don't think they're going to overutilize Herbert. They're going to continue to use play action consistently. So with that said, I'll go J.K. because I'd rather have the better offensive line in Los Angeles. Bob Jeff Supreme, start one at the flex. I'm probably, if T. Higgins is healthy, I'm leaning towards T. Higgins. Bob, I'm leaning towards T. Higgins. Angelo, I'd go Shakir, I'd go Judy, and I'd go Sutton. Shakir, Judy, Judy, Sutton. Noob DK, start two. I'd start Godwin and Rice. Godwin and Rice just barely over Thomas. There you go, Noob DK. Luis Salazar, I'm 2-0 in fantasy. You're doing a great job. It's because of you. Start on the flex. I'll go Zamir White. Josh, Robinson or Worthy? I'm going Worthy. Brennan. Now, I totally understand that the Atlanta Falcons pass defense has been a better unit, obviously, than maybe some of us would have expected. But I'm still not quite believing in it enough where I'm going to lean away from it. ZB, thanks for the love. Johnson, Shaheed, Mooney, Shakir. Great question. I think you got a lot of really good options. For the moment, I'm leaning towards Shakir, but Shaheed is a really attractive play as well. By the way, to answer Sam's question, Shaheed, Mooney, and Shakir are three good buy low options that all have good matchups this week for the flex. Matt, what's up? Traded Kamara and Ridley for Breece Hall. I don't think you got enough value back for right now, but for season long, I probably like it. It's just Kamara's on fire. Sean, Zamir White or Malik Neighbors? I'm leaning towards Zamir White, maybe just barely. The Browns' pass defense this year hasn't been what it was last year, but it's still pretty good, so Is it okay to trade McCaffrey, Irvin? Yes, it is. Brianna, Pickens, Shaheed, Jamo, or JSN? Great question. For the moment, I'm leaning just slightly, I think, towards Shaheed. Shaheed just barely over Jamison Williams. Very close on that, but I lead just barely, I think, towards Shaheed. Eagles' pass defense is the reason why. Eagles' pass defense has been so bad, so I'll go Shaheed just barely, though I don't think too highly of Arizona's pass defense. Cruz, Hurts or Goff this week? Just because the Saints' pass defense, I kind of, it depends. If A.J. Brown is back, I lean towards Hurts. For the moment, though, I'll go Goff. Raul, I'd go Derek Carr. Derek Carr. Wrong place. I have two questions. Burrow or Carr? I'd go Derek Carr for QB. And at the flex, I'm leaning just slightly, I think, towards... That's a tough one, the wide receiver position. Do I like Aaron Jones enough? Not really. I'm going to say Pickens. Wrong place, I'll say Pickens is the wide receiver. Warren Hackler, start 2. Warren Hackler, I would start Warren Hackler, I'll start DK and Godwin. DK and Godwin, I think. ETN for Zay, I think it's a fair trade. Appreciate the questions, everybody. We're going to take some callers now, everyone. Let's get to some callers. So if you want to jump on the line, feel free. KDM is going to be first up. Let's see what KDM wants to talk about. KDM, what's good?
Hello?
Hey, what's happening?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, man. So I feel like I had a really good draft, but I ended up in a hole. I'm 0-2, and I just wanted to give you like my starting lineup and see if you feel like I need to make any trades, or you tell me.
Go for it.
So I got Burrow at the QB. My starting running backs right now are Mason. I flip in ETN every once in a while, and then I have Bijan. My real problem that I'm running into right now is Laporta doing nothing for me, and then I landed Puka on the IR. So my two starting receivers right now are Olave and DJ Moore. So I was wondering, do you think I need to do anything? Am I panicking?
I don't know why you'd be panicking. This is a really good team. I'm not gonna get nutty. I think you got to look at on the waiver wire for guys like Shakir, not Shaheed, because you already have Olave. But I like the team overall. I'm not gonna sweat Laporta. I love the running backs. I think this team is gonna make the playoffs. I just think you suffered a tough start with Puka, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You have a great day.
You as well, man.
Let's get to our next question. Let's go to Jason. Let's see what Jason wants to talk about. Jason's next up. Jason, what's good?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How can I help you?
Appreciate it. Hey, I had a little tight end situation. I have both Ferguson and Hawkinson from the draft, and both are going through injuries. And a buddy in my league dropped Evan Ingram. Think a waiver wire is worth it?
Yep, I do, because I think Evan Ingram's value is going to come back. I know he's underperformed so far, but I like that option more than what you have right now.
Sweet. And one more question, if you don't mind.
Yep.
I'm pretty loaded at wide receiver. I got Amon-Ra, Chris Godwin, DK, and Shaheed. Out of those 4, which 3 should I start this week, you think?
Shaheed, and give me the other 3.
Yeah, I got Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Shaheed would be 2, and then it's between DK and who?
Chris Godwin.
Between the two, I'm leaning slightly towards Godwin. Both are facing pretty good pass defenses. One of the reasons I think I'm leaning towards Godwin is because Mike Evans might attract the attention of Patrick Surtain II. If Surtain II's on Godwin, obviously this advice, it doesn't work out the way I want, but I'll say Godwin is the 3rd.
He usually sits on the outside, not for the slot guys, am I right?
That's what he usually does, and that's why I say Evans, as in that's why I think he'll cover Evans. That you're getting why I came up with the theory I did.
Right, that makes sense. I appreciate it.
Where I think Jalen Ramsey is going to be shadowing DK Metcalf the entire game.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Okay, have a good afternoon.
You too. Thank you so much.
Let's get to our next caller. Let's go to Hunter Williams. Hunter Williams is going to be next up on the line. See what Hunter wants to talk about. Spinning wheel of death for Hunter. Let's see if we can connect with Hunter. Hunter, we're looking. Sorry, bud. Try back, okay? Couldn't connect with you. Try back again. Let's go to our next caller. Next caller on the line is going to be Steve TX. Steve TX is a subscriber. Want to shout out all of our subscribers that are watching right now. Steve, what's good?
Hey, man, just want to tell you my lineup here, and I kind of need a flex option for this weekend. So I'm 2-0. Josh Allen, Devon A-Chain, Jordan Mason, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra. I picked up Hunter Henry because Njoku is hurt.
If Njoku is able to play this week, I really like him. Just a heads up.
He's not playing. They already ruled him out.
Okay.
Jerome Ford at the flex. I got Chase Brown, Amari Cooper, Garindo, Brock Purdy, Carson Stills, Zamir White, and I have Pacheco that's out. Wondering who to start at the flex this week. Ford, Zamir White, Still, or Amari Cooper.
So I really like Ford this week. I think Ford could have a really big week against a bad Giants run defense, so I'd say Ford.
Perfect. Thank you. Love the show.
Thanks so much. Appreciate your support. Talk to you later, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Troy. Let's see what Troy wants to talk about. By the way, if you're a caller, I'm just going in order of what I see, so be patient. We got a lot of people waiting. Troy, what's good?
Hey, how's it going?
How can I help you, bud?
I just got a couple questions for this week. So, I got 4 running backs, and I need 3. I was thinking about flexing one. So, I have Gibbs, Kyron Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, and A-Chain.
Go one more time.
Ramondre Stevenson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, and A-Chain.
I'm starting Ramondre Stevenson, I'm starting Acham, and I'm starting Gibbs.
Okay. So not Kyron.
Not Kyron.
And would you give up on Tyreek Hill or just keep him in the starting lineup?
Is this the same team that's got Acham?
Yeah.
I would certainly try to move on from him if I could. I try to maximize his trade value, just given the brand name, see what I could get back in return. But I don't want to be overloaded on a Miami Dolphins offense that's got a ton of question marks right now.
For sure. So do you think I should start maybe Stephon Diggs over him?
No.
What about Garrett Wilson?
No. I don't like the options enough. I'd still ride with Hill until I make a trade for somebody better. And it's probably not for this week, it's for the future.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, Troy. Let's go to our next caller up on the line. We're going to Jack. Let's see what Jack wants to talk about. Jack, what's good?
Yo, so I have a question about a big trade for my league.
Go for it.
So this kid wants to trade me CeeDee Lamb, and he wants me to give up Nico Collins and J.K. Dobbins.
I don't think you're getting enough value back in exchange. I think it's just not. So you're giving up Collins and J.K. and you're getting CeeDee Lamb?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting enough value back. J.K. Dobbins has performed so well, and as I mentioned a moment ago, Chargers' offensive line looks fantastic. So I just don't think you're getting enough back. If you're getting CeeDee Lamb, I might ask for CeeDee Lamb plus something else.
Yeah, my receivers right now are Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, and Malik Neighbors. So
I don't think the upgrade from Nico Collins to CeeDee Lamb is not worth J.K. Dobbins.
I agree with that.
That's where I'm coming out. I'd rather hold on to. And by the way, just as a quick look, the Chargers, they play against the Steelers this week. Not a great matchup, but then they play the Chiefs. They're on a bye. They play the Denver Broncos, who are actually not good against the run. They're good against the pass, but not good against the run. Arizona, New Orleans. Once you get past Week 5, I think that J.K. Dobbins can hold some of that value we've seen so far.
Yeah, and another trade in my league that someone wants to do, I have Jordan Mason, and the CMC owner has ETN, and he wants to trade me ETN and Higgins for Mason.
I'm not going to do it, and here's why. Right now, I think Jordan Mason really is the future of the 49ers run offense, at least in this season. Historically, that's the guy you want. You want the guy in Shanahan's run offense. And I don't trust ETN to stay healthy, so it looks really good on paper right now. But Higgins and ETN are two players that are like, I don't trust them as far as I could throw them.
And I have two more questions. One trade, and then I'll ask the other question first. Do you think McCaffrey comes back this year?
I think he does come back. Right now, I would put over under 5.5 games that he actually plays this season.
Yeah, I think under for that.
And if you're thinking under, then I wouldn't trade Jordan Mason.
Yeah. And the last one is, so this kid wants to trade me Achan and Cooper Kupp for Mason and Neighbors.
Achan and Cooper Kupp for who and Neighbors?
Mason and Neighbors.
I'd rather have Mason and Neighbors.
All right, I appreciate it.
Have a good one, Jack.
You too.
Next caller up on the line is going to be SoulRack24. SoulRack24 is our next caller. He's a new follower. I hope you're like him and you follow. SoulRack, what's good?
Hey, I just have a quick question. Somebody offered me a DK Metcalf. They offered me Tyreek Hill for DK. Would you take it?
I'd rather have DK Metcalf right now. That said,
Okay.
if you're selling Hill to get DK, I'd probably ask for DK and a throw-in second player.
I'm the one that has DK.
Hold on to DK. Don't give him up. I like the match. I like the pairing of Geno Smith and DK more than any quarterback that Miami has right now in Tyreek Hill.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Brady Kaufman. Brady Kaufman is next up on the line because he showed up at the top of the list. So, Brady, what's good?
Hey, so I have Pacheco, so I'm kind of in a bind right now because I got Najee Harris starting in his spot.
Yikes.
So I have a guy wanting Devontae Smith and Darnell Mooney, who's going to give me Kyron Williams and Samaje Perine.
Hit me with that one more time. Say it again.
He wanted Devontae Smith and Darnell Mooney, and he's going to give me Kyron Williams and Samaje Perine. And I'm 2-0 right now, so it's tempting just because.
Don't do it. 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 You're trading two valuable players for two players with a lot of risk associated with them. Is Kyron Williams going to be as productive now that the Rams' passing game isn't as prolific? Probably not. Is Samaje Perine even the number one running back in that offense? I don't know yet. Mooney's coming on stronger by the week. And who was the other one you said? Devontae Smith? I'm not giving him up right now. Nope, not doing that.
The other thing I was thinking is I would try to keep Darnell Mooney another week, and if he does really well this week, maybe sell high on him.
Bingo, that I like. But doing it for Kyron Williams and Samaje Perine, tell that other owner he can take a hike.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe try to get Darnell Mooney and get Brian Robinson.
The Kansas City Chiefs, as of this week, are the second worst pass defense in the NFL. Now, I'm not saying that'll continue for long, but that's a favorable matchup for Mooney to showcase what he can do for you to then trade in between, this week and next.
Yeah, McDuffie. I would expect McDuffie to be covering London.
On London, exactly.
Jalen Watson or Joshua Williams.
They're gonna try to take away London. They're gonna try to take away Pitts, and that's where Darnell Mooney shines. We saw it last year with DJ Moore. So I actually think this is a great time to kind of hype up his value, even to the extent where I'd shop him this week for players that maybe seem like a reach, and you'll get rejected. And then you could offer that same trade in like 5 days, 6 days, and maybe someone will bite on it. So I'd have some fun trading, trying to do some trade offers.
Yeah, little mind games. I like it.
That's my style, but I'm a wheeler and a dealer.
All right, I appreciate it, bro. Love the stream.
Thanks so much. See you, Brady. Let's get to our next caller. Next in the queue is Ricky. I'm not picking it. It looks like we have 9 people waiting on hold, so we're going to the next one. Ricky, what's good?
How you doing, man?
How can I help you?
I'm just trying to figure out who to start this week. The guys I'm looking at is Demarcus Robinson, Terry McLaurin, Javonte Williams, maybe Eckler. Other than that, those are the 4 I'm looking at. And the flex.
Javonte, Eckler. I lean towards Eckler a little bit. I like Eckler's matchup against Cincinnati. Who were the first 2?
And McLaurin and Robinson. Demarcus Robinson.
I don't like either one of them. I'm probably gonna lean towards McLaurin in that, but I don't like being doubled up on the Commanders' offense. No, I don't want to do that. I'll take Eckler as one of them. I don't know about the other.
No, Demarcus Robinson, not Brian.
Oh, well, it's the Rams, right. But the Rams are going up against the 49ers, so I still don't like him. I meant Eckler and McLaurin.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Okay.
No, you're not that overloaded on the Commanders, but you're still overloaded on the Commanders. So I'd go Eckler, and who is the other running back option?
Javonte Williams.
I guess I'd go Javonte, but I don't think that second spot has been solved. I think that's an issue.
All right, cool.
I lean towards Javonte for the moment, though.
I'm also in a 12-man, and I just traded. I got CD and Brees now.
Nice.
And but I'm trying to get rid of Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. Which one should I try to get rid of?
Mark
Which
Andrews.
one has more value in the market?
I would trade Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers has more value, but I'd rather have Zay Flowers.
Right. All right.
All right, Ricky. See you later. Let's get to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Jack. Let's see what Jack wants to talk about. Jack's next up. Jack, what's good?
Hey, so...
You got to stay on TikTok, bud. Once you leave TikTok, you mute yourself. I can't hear you.
Okay, so I had Cooper Kupp, and he, got hurt.
Yes, I know.
So I have two questions. So do you think, so I had Matt Stafford, and so I picked up Geno Smith. Do you think I should start Geno Smith or Dak Prescott this week?
Great question, actually. It's a trickier question than you'd think. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Dak because the Baltimore Ravens have actually been the worst pass defense through the first 2 weeks of the season. They're averaging about 257 pass yards per game, worst in the NFL. So I'll go with Dak.
Okay. And then, so with my wide receivers now, so I'm having trouble with my wide receivers in my flex. So I have Garrett Wilson, who I'm obviously going to start. But my thing...
I don't love his matchup. Just a warning. I don't love his matchup.
Okay. But I have Xavier Worthy, Brian...
Thomas Jr.?
Brian Thomas Jr. and for the Rams?
DeMarcus Robinson.
Right. So I have them, and I have Jerome Ford, for a possible flex.
Yep.
I'm not sure who to start.
I would start Ford in the flex.
Okay.
And I'm leaning... if you want to start Garrett Wilson, you can, but I don't love it. And who are the other two running backs? Brian Thomas Jr. and who? Oh, I'd go Xavier Worthy. So if you want to do Wilson and Worthy, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Thomas Jr. and Garrett Wilson might... That might be a closer battle than you want it to be.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Let's get to our next caller. Next in the queue is Patrick. Patrick's next. We've got 11 people on hold. Don't worry, we'll get to as many as we can. Let's get to Patrick next up on the line. Patrick, what's good? Patrick, can't hear you. You got to put that mic up to your mouth, bud.
I'm speaking. Can you hear me now?
I got you now. What's good?
Oh, sorry about that. So I just did a trade with my uncle who's struggling, but I'm 2-0, and I traded to him. Fuck, where'd it go? Sorry about the cussing. I gave him Justin Jefferson and Jaden Daniels for Pacheco and Puka. But I have on my receiving core, I have Neighbors.
Wait. What did you do?
Jefferson and Daniels.
You gave him Jefferson and Daniels?
Yeah.
Buddy. Patrick, this is a real call, right? You're not pranking me?
No, I'm not pranking you. But I have Hurts, Neighbors, and Shaheed.
Patrick. This is this uncle of yours. Are you guys close?
Not really.
I can tell. I can tell. You know how I can tell? Because he trade violated you, okay? He took advantage of you. This is not someone who likes you. That is an awful trade. That's a bad trade. He totally took advantage of you. It's not a good deal. I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, your own opinion, sure, but I feel like in the long run, considering I have a solid team, all I need to do is make the playoffs, and in week 10, I'll have 2 number ones, in my lineup along with Hurts and Laporta. And
I totally understand that, and I really appreciate the fact that you're being that optimistic. And I'm not mocking. I'm not laughing. I'm more laughing at the fact that like some people are assholes, and clearly this uncle is an asshole. But my general attitude on this is I want value. I want production. I don't want the myth of it. I don't want future value. There's a great scene in The Wolf of Wall Street where Matthew McConaughey is talking about you don't want your client to sell the stock because then it becomes real. It never becomes real. I'm just floating for something in the future. I don't like that floating for something in the future. I want real something. I want real fantasy points. McCaffrey, Puka, and Pacheco. Guess what I'm not getting from them for the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks? Anything. I'm not getting anything from them. Not one fantasy point. So that's one of the reasons I don't like this trade. It's not that I don't understand what you're thinking long term, but that's like me trying to sell you something in 2028 for money you're going to give me right now. There's opportunity cost. I'd rather have the value right now. You could have traded them for players who contribute right now. So I think you lost out on something. That's why I react the way that I do.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I didn't need those points. Both those guys were on my bench.
Okay. Well, I'm wishing you well on the trade, bud.
All right, I'll let you know.
I like Patrick. He's a good guy. I hope it works out for him. I hope I'm wrong on this one. Let's go to Dylan. Dylan's next up on the line. Let's see what Dylan wants to talk about. Dylan, what's good?
What is up, my guy?
How can I help you?
Man, I got a couple quick questions for you. So, how do you feel about Richardson versus Chicago this week?
Richardson versus Chicago. It's really tough for me. I think he bounces back with his points in fantasy, but I'm still not as high on Richardson as I was preseason.
Okay. Would Geno be a flex play against Miami this week instead of Richardson? He's about the best quarterback I can get off.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say stick with Richardson because I'd rather have the rushing points that he can get that Geno can't. So Miami, I know it's skewed because the game against Buffalo was a weird game, but right now, at least in terms of stats, Miami is a top 5 defense against the pass. Again, Thursday Night Football and the way that game played out may skew those numbers, but I think I'd go Richardson.
Right. All right. For flex, I had to move some stuff around because of Cup getting injured. I moved Olave up to his wide receiver position, and I'm trying to figure out a flex play. Do I go McLaughlin or do I go pick up Tyler Johnson since Puka and Cup are hurt?
I'm going to lean slightly towards McLaughlin. Leaning slightly towards McLaughlin.
You think he's going to have a good week this week?
I think he's going to have a serviceable week this week.
Okay. And then my last question would be for the defense. Do I go Chargers versus the Steelers or Seahawks versus Miami with Tua being out?
I'll go Chargers.
Okay.
I don't know about that, but I'll go Chargers.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards. It was either that or...
It's just for me, it's like there's so much star power on the Dolphins that, like, I'll respect them enough where I'd rather play the Chargers.
Right. I was kind of looking at the total points for that game. Vegas only has it at like 35 points right now.
Sometimes I like to use that. Yeah. Sometimes that's a good indication. Sure.
And then Chargers defense has been double points for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they've also played dog shit, so I'm not going to overreact. It's just one of those where it's more Tyreek Hill, Waddle, and Achane that I'm respecting over Pickens. So.
True. All right, sir. I appreciate it.
See you, Dylan. Talk soon. Let's get to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Maddie Nee. Maddie Nee leads us off with our next call. Let's go to Maddie. Maddie, what's good?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How can I help you?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I shot myself in the foot with this trade. I traded Ayuk for Shaheed. Yeah. I mean, I know Shaheed's gonna be fine. And I know once Debo gets back, I know I won't have shot myself in the foot. But my question is for flex. I have Gesicki, Harris, and I either have Coleman or Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman, and give me the other two again.
Mike Gesicki and Najee Harris.
No to Najee Harris.
Okay.
Gesicki, I like, but not in a flex. If it were your tight end, that's one thing, but in a flex, no. Then between Keon Coleman and Brian Thomas Jr., it's really tough for me because the Jacksonville Jaguars' pass defense is awful. It's the third worst in the NFL.
That's what I was, yeah.
Keon Coleman hasn't done anything yet. Brian Thomas Jr., meanwhile, has actually been pretty impressive, but obviously Buffalo's pass defense is better. So it's kind of like, man, do I take the guy who's done nothing against a bad defense or the guy who's done something against a good defense? I'm leaning slightly towards Brian Thomas Jr. because I like seeing players who have had results and I can at least believe in it as opposed to seeing it for the first time with Keon Coleman. But believe me, I'm probably going to go back and forth on that in my mind over and over. But for the moment, it's Brian Thomas Jr. just slightly. Though, do I like it? Nah, not really.
Yeah, exactly. And my whole thing with Harris is I know they're going up against the Chargers defense. It's going to be a run-heavy game. So, that's my only thing.
Yeah, but the Chargers run defense so far this year has been pretty good. So Najee Harris is splitting carries with Jalen Warren. That's a no-no.
Yeah.
The Chargers pass defense has actually been bad. So the fact that the Chargers pass defense has been good too. Sorry, they've both been good. So anyways,
I was gonna say I have Fields and Burrow.
It's both been good. Sorry, I looked at the wrong stat. But that said, I just kind of stay away from Harris. He just doesn't get me going at all. I'm not excited about that. To me, it's like I like Shakir in the Bills offense because I've seen him deliver so far. But Coleman, if you want to take the gamble on it, it's totally justified. I'm not going to laugh at you. I'm not going to mock you. I'm going to go, you know what? That was a ballsy gamble by Maddie. But that said, I'm leaning slightly towards Brian Thomas Jr.
Right, and then I have Andrews and Gesicki for tight ends, and I'm looking at both their production values, and that's a gamble as well.
There's a part of me that really likes Gesicki in that.
Right, because they're playing Washington, and I know they have the worst pass defense in the league.
And not just that, over the last 2 years, I know it's a different head coach and a different defensive system. They've struggled against the tight end position. They just don't play well against it. So there's kind of a part of me right now that says Gesicki over Mark Andrews. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then I have Saquon. I have Saquon for a running back, and I have Dobbins up there. I have Burrow as my quarterback. So it's just that flex spot.
Ooh. That's a reason to not play Gesicki. I don't want to double up on the Bengals. I don't want to stack the Bengals. So because you already have Burrow, go with Mark Andrews because you're going to get Gesicki's points from Joe Burrow. But if Gesicki has a bad game,
Then, yeah.
I don't want to run the risk.
So keep Andrews. Okay. And then I have Cleveland's defense, which I know is fine against New York.
Love it. Love it. Thumbs up on that one, Maddie.
I do have Neighbors in. That's who I have. I have Neighbors and Shaheed as my wide receivers.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that trade because you've already punished yourself enough, and I'm not going to do that to you in front of thousands of people. But that said, I want you to know that you're putting on a good face on a bad situation.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, Maddie?
No, that's all. Thank you.
You have a great day, Maddie. Okay, next caller up on the line is going to be Unruly11. Let's see what Unruly1 wants to talk about today. Spinning wheel. Can we connect? Unruly1, what's good?
Hey, what's going on?
How can I help you? You there?
I'm still trying to connect. If you can hear me.
I got you. Go ahead.
I got you. So I got tremendous injury problems already. My flex spot, looking at Steele or Alec Pierce, and I'm like open to any other suggestions you feel like might be on the waiver.
If Shakir is on the waiver, go for it. If Shaheed is on the waiver wire, go for it. If Bucky Irving is on the waiver wire, I'd highly consider it. If Alexander Madison for the Raiders is on the waiver wire, I'd do that as well.
Hey, I appreciate it. Good luck, man.
Have a great day. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Joshua. Let's see what Joshua wants to talk about. Joshua is next up. Joshua, what's good?
What's up?
How can I help you?
Okay, so for my...
Oh, you got to stay on TikTok. You leave TikTok, you mute yourself. I can't hear you.
Okay, so I have Laporta or Ferguson. I don't know
Laporta.
which one to start. Laporta, okay, cool. And for my flex, I have Harrison Jr. And I also have Quentin Johnston. I didn't know which.
Harrison Jr., not even close. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay, cool. And I have Joe Mixon, or I have ETN.
I'd go ETN.
ETN?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. And
have a good one, Joshua. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize if you were still going. We got 22 people on hold, so I'm going to keep trying to rocket it through them. Let's go to Garrett. Garrett is going to be the next one up on the line. Garrett Tilley, what's good?
Hello?
Yep, what's good?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a dynasty league. I've had it for about 3 years. I've had Jawan Jennings sitting on my bench with Debo out. Do I start him this week?
Yes.
Let's go. All right. I thank Jesus. I've had him for about 3 years now, and I just have to get something going with him.
You finally got some value out of him. Good luck with him, Garrett Tilley. Here, let's get to our next caller. Next on the line is going to be DC2424. Up, you dropped on us. DC2424. You were just coming up. Let's go to Not Wilson. Let's see what Not Wilson wants to talk about. Not Wilson's going to be next up on the line. Not Wilson, what's good?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I got two questions. I have Sam Laporta and Hunter Henry. Which one should I start?
Sam Laporta.
Okay, and then for my wide receivers, I have Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, Jameson Williams, and DK Metcalf. Which three should I start?
Ayuk, Jameson Williams, and I lean towards Garrett Wilson, I think. Just barely over DK, but it's close. I think DK and Garrett Wilson are going to have very similar games.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Let's get our next caller up. Let's go to DC2424. Let's see if they connect this time. Let's see if DC gets on the line. DC, what's good?
Hey, Amari Cooper or Keon Coleman?
I'm going to lean just slightly towards Keon Coleman. Just barely.
Not for the week, just long term. Trade situation.
I'd rather trade Coleman.
All right, cool. And then one last question: Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins this week?
Kirk Cousins.
Awesome. All right, thanks, man.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller up on the line. Lil Skillet. Lil Skillet's going to be next on the line. Let's see what Lil Skillet wants to talk about today. Lil Skillet, what's good?
Hello?
What's
Can
happening?
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I got a couple questions. Do you think I should start Evan Ingram over Cole Kmet since he's still questionable?
Yes.
Okay. And then I have CD Lamb, Marvin Harrison Jr., Alec Pierce, Jalen Reed, and Keon Coleman. Which three should I start?
CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Harrison Jr., and give me the other three again.
Jalen Reed, Alec Pierce, and Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Have a good one, little skillet. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Lewis. Luis? Is it Luis or Lewis? Luis? What's good?
What's up? Should I trade Brian Thomas Jr. for George Kittle?
You're getting George Kittle?
Yeah.
No, bad trade. No, bad trade.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Yep. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Henry. Let's see what Henry wants to talk about. Henry's next up. Oh, Henry, you dropped on us, bud. Sorry about that, but you dropped on us. Let's go to our next caller. It's going to be Charles. Charles is next up on the line. Charles, what's good?
Hey, so I have a couple questions. So right now my starting lineup is Kyler Murray, Kyron Williams, James Conner, Nico Collins, Jamar Chase, and my flex is in a rough spot because of Cooper Kupp. So I'm wondering if I should trade James Conner and Jamar Chase for Jonathan Taylor, Rashee Rice, and Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. That's all I have.
See ya. Good luck, Charles.
Thank you. You too.
Let's get to our next caller. Next up on the line is Costco Pizza. Costco Pizza, which can single-handedly give you Crohn's disease. I've learned that. Costco Pizza, what's good?
What's good? I was wondering if I should trade Tyreek Hill for Gibbs, Godwin, and Pollard.
100%. Yes.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Have a good one, Costco Pizza. Let's get to our next caller. We're flying through. Let's go to Juan S. Juan S. Let's see what Juan wants to talk about. Juan, what's good?
Oh, what's good?
You got to stay on TikTok, bud. You leave it, you mute yourself. Can't hear you.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
So there's Pat Freiermuth, the Steelers tight end, over here in the wide receiver and tight end free agents. I'm not sure if I should get him just because I'm having some tight end problems. Currently, I have Sam Laporta.
Stick with Laporta. Stick with Laporta.
Stick with Laporta?
Yep.
My next question real quick is I used to have Isaiah Pacheco, but since due to the injury, I got Steele, but I'm not sure now that I'm hearing the rumors about Kareem Hunt getting signed.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to play it week to week, so I don't think you should be in love with Steele. I think it's someone that, glad you got him, good to have him, but he may not turn out to be the valuable play that you're hoping for. We'll have to see.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next caller that we're going to have up on the line is going to be Ben Baum. Ben Baum is going to be the next caller that we got up. Let's see what Ben wants to talk about. Ben, what's good?
Hey, two questions. One, do I panic with Laporta, yes or no?
No.
Okay, because he hasn't done much the first 2 weeks.
I'm aware. Don't panic on him.
Okay. And then second question is, I am looking for a running back for my bench. I currently have Bijan, Jordan Mason, and Mixon. And I'm wondering, the top 5 best running backs on my waiver are Braylon Allen, Madison, Chase Brown, and I believe it's Ty Chandler.
I'm very high on Madison. Very high on Madison because the matchup that he has this week against the Carolina Panthers.
Okay. Would you claim him off waivers if he's available?
Yep.
Over those 5 other guys? Because
yep.
Braylon Allen has a huge upside.
Upside long term. Are you thinking short term or long term? If it's short term, it's Alexander Madison.
Okay. That's what I was... Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one, Ben. Let's get to our next caller up on the line. Let's go to Chris. Chris is our next caller. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got about 15 people waiting on hold, so sorry if you are being on hold. Hope you're being patient. Chris, what's good?
Hey, man. So basically, I got a super team now. I traded for a lot of people. And people are throwing me trades. Someone threw me a trade today for Jawan Jennings and Saquon for Jettas.
Hit me with that one more time.
Someone offered me Jawan Jennings and Saquon for Jay Jettas.
I think I'd rather have the Saquon trade. I think I'd rather have the Saquon side.
Okay.
It's close though. It's pretty close. It's a pretty fair trade, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And people, yeah, I'm not sure about it.
I still think I'd rather have the Saquon side just because I value running backs more than I value wide receivers.
Okay.
It's close. It's close enough where I wouldn't roast you. I probably wouldn't give it. I wouldn't say you won it, but I'm not going to give you a hard time about it.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one. Let's get to our next caller up on the line. Let's go to Plugs Burton. Let's see what Plugs Burton wants to talk about. Plugs, what's good?
What's up, my man?
How you living?
So, I'm all right, man. So, I'm trying to find a way to get Brock Bowers from someone, and it's a 2-quarterback league, and he's down on quarterbacks too. And I have Anthony Richardson, I have Kyler Murray, I have Justin Fields, and I have Deshaun Watson.
You just said like a synonym for the same player. Like you like they're all the same guy. Like this is Usual Suspects. Like which one's Kaiser Sose? I don't know. They're all the same dude. Like
man, because I'm like I got Kyle Pitts, but I'm just kind of worried about.
Okay, I'm gonna say this one thing. Plugs, do you play the stock market at all?
I used to, but not as much nowadays.
Okay, when something's at its peak value, it's probably not the time to buy it. Brock Bowers right now is the most expensive that he's ever going to be this season. Maybe he gets a little bit more expensive, but the whole point is you have to give up a lot to get him right now. And you don't really need a tight end because Kyle Pitts is good enough. So I wouldn't do it because I think you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. And by the time you get him, you may open up more holes than you're actually filling.
Got you. Okay, because yeah, I mean, I was trying, I'm scrambling, but like I said, I still have. I'm good at running back. I have J.K. Dobbins, I got Alvin Kamara, and I have Josh Jacobs and Eckler and somebody else. But I was just trying to figure out if I can go ahead and stack up the bench somehow.
Look, I want to build a super team too, but in order to build a super team, you have to give away pieces, unless you're dealing with idiots. And I at least will respect your league enough to not assume they're full of idiots. So
Right. For sure, man. Well, I appreciate that.
You have a good one, Plugs.
All right, man.
Let's get to our next caller on the line. Next one is going to be Brock Hopkins. Brock Hopkins is next caller on the line. Brock, what's good?
Yo, I have Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, and Rashid Shaheed. I don't know who to bench.
It's between DK and Garrett Wilson. I think it's a coin flip between those two, but it's one of those two. I'm leaning maybe slightly towards starting DK Metcalf, but it's close. I don't know. It's close between those two. All right, Brock. We'll catch you later. Let's get to our next caller, M-Biv. M-Biv is going to be next up on the line. Let's see what M-Biv wants to talk about. M-Biv, what's good?
Hey, what up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How can I help you?
Cool. I got two things. For one, my running backs are Rashad White and Javonte Williams. Should I trade Ayuk and J-Mo for Gibbs? I'm in a 14-man.
I think you're giving up a little bit too much value. But given how bad your running backs are, I feel like you do need to make a desperate move. I wish it weren't for that much, but I get it.
Yeah, okay. And then another thing, my receiving room is right now, if I don't do the trade, it is Jamar, Cooper, Ayuk, J-Mo, and Ladd McConkey. If I do the
trade...
See,
I don't want to do the trade because those are my two favorite wide receivers on your team. So I'm giving away your wide receiver 1 and your wide receiver 2 to get a running back 1. It just like I said to the previous caller, I almost feel like you're trying to fill a hole by creating 2 more. Like, I just don't feel like you come out ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, because if I do that, then I feel like I'd have to, maybe get rid of Jamar for, 2 receivers or so.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I'd almost rather give up Jamar for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And have Ayuk and J-Mo. So, yeah.
Yep.
That said, if you do that, just know you're a little overloaded on the Lions, which is a little risky, but at least it's running game and passing game, so the stack is okay in my book.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Let's get to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Kaysen. Kaysen's been waiting patiently. Let's get to Kaysen, see what he wants to talk about. Spinning wheel of death. Come on. Kaysen, what's good?
Hey, so I was on here the other day. I have Pacheco and Cup and Christian McCaffrey all hurt.
Yep.
So I was wondering if I should trade CMC for Jahmyr Gibbs because my team is like awful without those three players.
CMC for Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah.
100%. Do it right away.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Have a good one, Kaysen.
You too.
Let's have our next caller up on the line. It's going to be Ghost 555. Let's see what Ghost 555 wants to talk about. Ghost, what's good?
What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I just had a couple of questions. I lost Pacheco and Debo this week, and I was seeing I got offered, and I also have Tyreek Hill. I got offered Tyreek and Brian Thomas Jr. for Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones.
I'd rather have the Tyreek side.
You'd rather have the Tyreek side because the only running back I have now is Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard and Rico Dowell.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, but I was thinking, should I trade Tyreek just to get more value in those positions I felt like running back?
I get it, but I just don't like the Aaron Jones part as much as you do.
Okay.
Sorry about it, Ghost.
So thank you.
Have a good one. We'll talk again soon. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Jason Dixon. Jason Dixon's next up on the line. Let's see what Jason wants to talk about. Jason, what's good?
Hey, how we doing?
Loving life. How can I help you?
Good. So I traded Chase for Ramondre Stevenson. First of all, without even looking into it, what's your thoughts on that? I don't have Pacheco, by the way, so you don't like it. But
no, I don't.
In my receiving room, okay, hang on. In my receiving room, I got Jameson Williams, Olave, and Shaheed.
I really don't like it because you're overloaded on the Saints' passing offense. I would have traded Olave for him if I would have done anything.
They weren't going, and you know running backs are hard to come by. So I maybe overspent, but we'll see. I'm 2-0 so far.
We'll see, Jason.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, bud.
Rooting for you. We'll talk again soon. Let's go to our next caller. Next on the line is Daddy Alex. Let's see what Daddy Alex wants to talk about. Appreciate you guys being with us. Daddy, what's good?
Hey, man. Two questions. So, one, I lost A.J. Brown. So, I have, for flex, I have Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, and J.K. Dobbins. They're all pretty bad, but who should I start?
It's a good question. I lean towards Kirk, but I don't love it.
Yeah, me neither. But all right, bet. And last one, do you like Breece Hall over 51.5 yards, rushing yards?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Sean. Let's see what Sean wants to talk about. Sean's our next caller. Sean trying to connect, spinning wheel, doesn't get there. Sean, sorry, bud, we're getting a bad connection. Try again, Sean. Try again. Sorry, bad connection. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Cook. Let's see what Cook wants to talk about. Cook, what's good?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Loving life. How can I help you?
Hey, I had a question. I need a little bit of receiver help in my one 10-man league. I had a guy offer me Brandon Ayuk for Malik Neighbors and Zay Flowers. What do you think about that?
You're trading Neighbors and Flowers?
For Ayuk, yes.
Is this a friend of yours?
Negative.
Yeah, I can tell, because he gave you a shit trade. Clearly this person doesn't want to be your friend. He doesn't want you to like them. This is a bad trade. Bad trade.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Just wanted to check with you.
No problem.
All right, thanks, man.
See you, Cook. I love being able to stir the pot a little bit for those folks out there who receive a trade from someone and it's absolute dog shit, and I am able to tell them that there's someone in their life who doesn't like them. Not because I actually do, but because I'm stirring the pot in someone else's world. Kind of fun. Kind of fun. Shady Esco. I mean, that's a bit of Schadenfreude, and I shouldn't say that, but that said, let's go to Shady Esco. Let's see what Shady wants to talk about. Shady, what's good?
Yo.
Shady, what's up? Shady, you with us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm right here.
Get at it, Shady. What's up?
Oh, my bad. Who are you picking? Who do you like more? You like Waddle or DJ Moore this week?
I'll go DJ Moore.
DJ Moore? Against the Colts?
Yes.
That's going to be a tough one. But, yeah, that was the only question I have, brother. Thank you.
Okay, Shady. We'll catch you later. Let's go to BK's Finest. Let's go to BK's Finest. Oh, BK dropped off on us. BK, come back. Let's go to our next caller. We're going to go to Aaron Medley. Let's see what Aaron wants to talk about.
Quick questions. Marvin Harrison Jr. or Rasheed Rice this week?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Trey McBride or Brock Bowers this weekend?
Brock Bowers.
49ers defense, or should I pick up the Raiders and stream them?
I'm willing to go with the 49ers.
Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
You have a good one, Aaron. Appreciate you watching the show. Let's go to our next caller up on the line. Cactus. Let's see what Cactus wants to talk about. Cactus, what's good?
Yo, Brian Thomas or Xavier Worthy flex?
Xavier Worthy in the flex.
Best defense this week?
Raiders defense. Raiders or Browns?
Thoughts unlikely.
I'm not that high on him. I think week 1 was probably his best week of the year.
Alright, thanks.
You have a good day. Let's go to our next caller. We're going back to BK's Finest. Let's see what BK's Finest wants to talk about. BK, what's good?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well.
I got a question for my flex spot. Jerome Ford, Tank Dell, or Mark Andrews?
Jerome Ford, Tank Dell, or Mark Andrews? Was that the question?
Yeah, for my flex spot.
Here's a quick question for you. Are you a New York Giants fan?
Of course.
Great. Then this answer is really going to be some salt in your wound. I'm taking Jerome Ford because your team can't stop a running back to save their life, dog. Can't stop a running back to save their life. I'll take Jerome Ford all day against your Giants.
All right, there's money on the line, so I guess I got to go against my Giants, man.
Hey, nothing like an emotional hedge to keep you entertained.
Thanks a lot, man.
Have a good one, man. Talk to you soon. Let's go to our next caller up on the line. It's going to be RJ. Let's see what RJ wants to talk about. RJ's the next caller. Spinning wheel, spinning wheel, spinning wheel. RJ, you might have a bad connection, bud. I'm not getting a connection, so try us again. Try us again in a better spot. Okay, we are going to go to... Let's go to DJ Khaled Asparagus. DJ Khaled Asparagus, you know this is a fake account because DJ Khaled's never seen an asparagus in his life. DJ Khaled Asparagus, what's good?
Hi, how are you?
How can I help you?
So I have Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel, but of course they're both injured. So should I start Rashee Rice or James Conner at my flex?
James Conner.
Okay. And should I trade Garrett Wilson, who's my wide receiver 1, and James Conner for CeeDee Lamb?
No.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is Eaters, I believe, or is the next up on the line. Eaters, what's good?
Yo, what up?
What's happening?
I have a question about a trade. So my 2 running backs right now are Mixon and Mason because Pacheco's on IR right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he might not even come back really.
Yep.
Because they might ease him back into that role.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, should I trade Tyreek, Mike Evans for ETN, London, and Collins? I have Tyreek and Evans.
I think you're giving up too much in that trade.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller on the line. Our next caller is going to be R. Our show's now brought to you by the letter R. Let's talk to R. R, what's good?
Yo, hey, DeAndre Swift or Singletary rest of the season?
Swift.
Also, I have Cup. Do you think I should try to trade him?
Yes, if he has any value out there, I'd trade him.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one, R. Let's go to our next caller. Our next caller is going to be Jay Renee. Jay Renee is going to be our next caller up on the line. Let's see what Jay Renee wants to talk about. Jay, what's good?
So in my starting lineup, I have Kamara, Jacobs, and Henry. Henry at flex. I'm wanting to know in my receiver, I have CeeDee Lamb, Harrison, but I have Reed and Devontae Adams at bench. Should I put Reed?
You're good. Don't change your lineup. Your lineup's good as it is right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller up on the line. Next caller is going to be B. Rogers. B. Rogers is the next caller we're going to have on the show. B. Rogers, what's good?
I got one question. Should I start Dak or Baker?
Dak.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller. We're going to Bruno Swag. Bruno Swag is our next caller up on the line. Let's see what we want to talk about. Bruno, what's good?
Hello?
What's happening?
I have a quick question on flex.
Get at it.
So I have 4 options. I have Shaheed, Javonte Williams, Deontay Johnson, or Demarcus Robinson.
Shaheed.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller up on the line. Let's go to Caleb Taylor. Let's see what Caleb Taylor wants to be talking about today. Caleb, what's good?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I have a question about, I think I talked to you yesterday. It was about some flexes. But now, with Pacheco might not be coming back for the rest of the year, my backs are Rashad White and Kyron. My receivers right now, I have A.J. Brown, Godwin. I was wondering, I have a buddy asking for a trade right now who wants to involve Godwin. He's trying to give me Dobbins and McLaurin, or he's trying to give me Dobbins and Waddle. Is that a no?
Given your running back situation, I'd actually be open to it. I don't love trading Godwin, but J.K. Dobbins and... either trade's probably fair. Either trade's probably fair. I don't love it, but I like it enough given your running back situation.
Okay, so just kind of give up on Pacheco coming back and
yes,
try to get Dobbins out of it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm trying to think what I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Thank you.
We'll talk again soon. Let's get another caller up here. Let's go to Seamus Stanton. Seamus Stanton's going to be our next caller up on the line. Let's see what Seamus wants to talk about. Seamus, what's good?
Hey, I have one question. So I have a Pacheco owner, and I picked up Carson Steele. Do you think I should start him or Zeke or Devin Singletary this week?
Not crazy about any of them, if I'm being frank with you. I'll probably lean for the moment. I'll probably lean for the moment towards going with Steele.
Okay.
That's probably where I come out for right now.
Yeah, I mean, my running back depth is nothing crazy.
I'll take a chance on Steele and see how he performs, and then evaluate it after that.
All right, thanks.
Have a good one, Seamus. Let's go to our next caller. It's going to be Angel. Angel's going to be our next caller up on the line. See what Angel wants to talk about. Angel, what's good?
Hey, what's up, what's up?
How can I help you?
So I got Dobbins and Metcalf on flex. Who should I put in?
Dobbins or Metcalf? Wow. I don't really love either one this week. I'll lean towards DK Metcalf.
All right, sounds good, brother.
Have a good one. Let's go to our next caller. Our next caller is going to be Bailey O. Bailey O. Let's see what Bailey wants to talk about. Bailey, what's good?
Yo, what's going on, man?
How can I help you? You with me? You got to stay on TikTok. You mute yourself when you're off TikTok, so I can't hear you, bud.
Oh, my bad.
No issue.
Do you think Surtain's going to be on Mike Evans this week?
I do. Yep, that's why I'm higher on Godwin, and I'm not very high on Mike Evans.
Okay, so do you think I should put Calvin Ridley over Mike Evans this week?
I'm not crazy about Calvin Ridley either, if I'm being honest with you, because he's going up against Jair Alexander.
That's true. So currently I have Judy in that spot just because I think him and Deshaun.
Yeah, I think Judy actually is kind of an interesting play. I think Judy's got a lot of upside this week. It's not that it's a total gamble. Like, it's a total gamble. It's the guy with the least brand name value, but the best matchup. It's kind of a fun play.
100%.
So.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Have a good one, Bailey.
Thank you.
Let's go to our next caller. Next up on the line is going to be Pickle Rourke. Let's see what Pickle wants to talk about. Pickle, what's good?
Hey, so I have a trade for Mostert and let's see, Pierce for Bowers, and I'm wondering if I should do that. But I have Laporte.
Are you getting Brock Bowers? Are you getting? Then do the trade. Do the trade. If you're getting Brock Bowers in that deal, do it.
So I have another offer. If I was talking to someone in the league, if I get Bowers, I have Laporta, so I don't know if I necessarily need him because I'm holding out for Laporta.
Honestly, I would hold on to both of them because there are going to be times where you could play one in the flex pretty consistently.
Okay. And then the other thing is someone's willing to trade Achane for Bowers, and I'm wondering if I should pick up Bowers to trade Achane.
I'd consider it, but I'd wait on it. I'd wait a week.
Okay. All right, and then for my quarterback this week, I'm wondering if I should play Anthony Richardson or if I should play Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Okay, cool. All right, well, thank you.
Have a good one. Appreciate you guys joining me. I got to run off. I'm about to go see Robert Downey Jr.'s new play here in New York at Lincoln Center. Pretty excited about that. So your boy might be known for sports, but I get my culture in when I can. Appreciate you guys joining the show. Appreciate you watching. Hope you guys love the content, the conversation. Make sure you follow. Hit the follow button right now if you want to join us again tomorrow. If you love our shows, if you want to make sure that you join us when we go live, hit the follow button right now. Butt Fumble Sports. Hit that follow button. And, of course, hit the subscribe button. No matter the platform, subscribe. That way you don't miss when we go live and you don't miss our subscriber-only shows. A reminder for the folks out there, if you want every bet that I make for free every single day, DM me on Instagram. I research sports betting every day as a job, so make sure you DM me if you want to see all my picks. I give them away for free. I never charge for them. They're never behind a paywall. So DM me on Instagram if you want those picks every day. If you want more fantasy advice, make sure you join us tomorrow at 4:30. 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. 4:30 for another show, more Q&A, helping you guys out, and obviously getting everybody ready for Thursday night football. Patriots, Jets, it's going to be a great night. Super pumped about it. Can't wait to talk player prop bets, game picks, totals, and everything you need to get your Week 3 off to a successful start. Until 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, can't wait to see you guys then. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Until then, goodbye, everybody.